The VA will pay for a trained service dog, cover the veterinary bills, buy the equipment, and even pay your travel costs to pick the dog up. Most veterans who qualify for this benefit have never heard of it.
And the ones who have heard of it often confuse it with something it is not. If you are a veteran living with a visual impairment, hearing loss, or a mobility condition that limits your independence, this could genuinely change your daily life. A trained service dog is not a pet. It is a medical device with a heartbeat, and the VA treats it that way.
Bello is right. Think of the VA service dog benefit like a specialized prosthetic. The VA does not hand you a generic walking cane and say good luck. They prescribe the right tool for your specific condition. A service dog works the same way. It is prescribed by your clinical team based on your specific impairment.
Here is where it gets frustrating, though. The number of veterans who think their emotional support animal qualifies for these benefits is enormous. And when they find out the hard way that it does not, they feel misled.
That distinction is coming up in Scene 4, and it is the single most important thing you need to understand before you start this process. This is VA Benefits 1.41. Today, we are covering which service dogs the VA recognizes, how to qualify what the VA actually pays for, and the trap that catches thousands of veterans every year. Let me introduce the team real quick.
Hi, I'm Bella. I went down a rabbit hole last night and I have thoughts.
Hey, I'm Michael. Honestly, I am hyped for this one.
Fenrir. I always look for the part nobody talks about. Found it.
Good to have everyone. Here we go.
The VA recognizes 3 categories of service dogs, and each one maps to a specific type of impairment. Think of it like 3 departments in a hospital. Each one has its own specialty and its own intake process.
Category 1 is guide dogs. These are trained to assist veterans with visual impairments. A guide dog navigates obstacles, stops at curbs, and provides safe movement through environments the veteran cannot see clearly.
For veterans who have lost their sight during service or after, a guide dog can be the difference between needing someone with you every time you leave the house and walking to the store on your own. That independence is everything.
Category 2 is hearing dogs. These alert deaf and hearing impaired veterans to household sounds. Doorbells, smoke alarms, phones ringing, someone calling your name. Sounds most people take for granted become safety hazards when you cannot hear them.
And Category 3 is mobility service dogs. This is the broadest category. It covers spinal cord injuries, traumatic brain injuries, seizure disorders, and other chronic conditions that substantially limit mobility.
A mobility dog might help with balance, retrieve dropped objects, pull a wheelchair, or even alert before a seizure happens. The dog is trained to match the specific tasks the veteran needs.
Notice what is not on that list. Mental health conditions on their own, or PTSD on its own. The VA benefit as written does not cover psychiatric conditions, unless there is also a qualifying physical impairment. That is a gap we need to talk about.
If you are watching this and thinking you might qualify, the first thing to know is that you do not apply for a service dog the way you file a disability claim. This is a clinical prescription, not a benefits application.
Under 30, 8 CFR, Section 17.140, 8, the VA will provide service dog benefits when 2 conditions are met. First, you have a diagnosed visual, hearing, or substantial mobility impairment. Second, your VA clinical team determines that a service dog is the optimal tool for managing that impairment. That word optimal is doing heavy lifting.
It really is. The VA is not going to prescribe a service dog as a first option. They exhaust other assistive devices first. If canes, walkers, hearing aids, and wheelchairs are not sufficient, Then a service dog enters the conversation.
Think of it like a doctor prescribing surgery. They try physical therapy, medication, and braces first. A service dog is the surgical option in the prosthetics world. Most involved intervention, highest clinical bar.
Good point, Michael. Once your clinical team prescribes a service dog, the next step is the training organization. The dog must come from a program accredited by Assistance Dogs International, or the International Guide Dog Federation.
The good news is that ADI accredited organizations typically provide the dog and training at no cost to the veteran. The wait can be long, sometimes a year or more, but the financial barrier is usually zero for the dog itself.
And stick with me here because the next scene explains the one area where this system fails the most veterans, and it has to do with PTSD. This is where the system lets veterans down, and I want to be direct about it. Thousands of veterans with PTSD, anxiety, and depression believe their animal qualifies as a service dog. Most of the time, it does not. The reason is not that their condition is less real. It is that the law draws a hard line between trained tasks and emotional comfort.
Under the Americans with Disabilities Act, a service animal is a dog individually trained to perform specific tasks for a person with a disability. A dog that provides comfort just by being present does not meet that legal definition.
Fenrir, think of it this way. A psychiatric service dog is trained to interrupt a panic attack by applying deep pressure therapy. That is a task. An emotional support animal sits on the couch with you and you feel better. That is companionship. Both are valuable, but only one has legal protection.
For veterans dealing with PTSD, this distinction can feel cruel. Your dog helps you function. Your dog gets you out of bed. But if the dog has not been trained to perform a specific task, the VA and the ADA classify that animal differently.
Here is where it gets better. In 2021, Congress passed the PWS for Veterans Therapy Act, Public Law 117-37. This law directed the VA to create a pilot program at 5 VA medical centers.
The PWS Act is a step forward, but it is still a pilot, not a permanent benefit. 5 locations serving a fraction of the veterans who need it. Until it expands, most veterans with mental health conditions alone do not qualify for the VA service dog benefit.
The bottom line is this: ADA public access and VA veterinary benefits are 2 separate systems with 2 separate rules. Your dog may qualify under one, but not the other.
Now that you understand who qualifies and what types of dogs the VA recognizes, let us talk about what the VA actually pays for. The short answer is more than most veterans expect.
A professionally trained service dog can cost between $15,000 and $30,000. The VA does not provide the dog itself, but ADI or IGDF accredited programs typically cover that cost for veterans.
What the VA does cover is the ongoing care. The veterinary health insurance benefit pays for prescribed medications, office visits, vaccinations, and one sedated dental procedure per year. The VA gets billed directly.
But there is a list of things the VA will not cover, and veterans need to know this up front. Non-prescription food, grooming, boarding, nail trimming, and over-the-counter medications all come out of your pocket. Budget about $1,500 to $2,000 per year for those basics.
The VA also covers equipment like harnesses and backpacks. And here is one most people miss. The VA pays your travel expenses to pick up the dog. If the dog needs to be replaced, they cover that travel again.
To get started, talk to your VA primary care provider. Ask about a prosthetic and sensory aids referral for a service dog. They will connect you with an accredited training program.
If you forget everything else from today, remember this. A service dog is a medical prescription, not a purchase. Start with your VA clinical team, not a pet store and not an online registry.
Drop in the comments whether you have a service dog through the VA or if you are considering applying. Your experience could help another veteran figure out where to start.
Okay, it is quiz time. Let's find out what stuck. Think through each question carefully before you answer.
A like and subscribe takes less time than reading this sentence. Do it now and help us reach more learners.
A veteran with a service-connected spinal cord injury wants to apply for a VA service dog. Their VA clinical team has determined that other assistive devices are not sufficient. What is the next step in the process? The correct answer is B. The clinical team prescribes a service dog and connects the veteran with an Assistance Dogs International or International Guide Dog Federation accredited training organization.
A veteran with PTSD has a dog that provides comfort and reduces anxiety by sitting next to them during panic episodes. The dog has not been trained to perform any specific tasks. How does the VA classify this animal? The correct answer is D, an emotional support animal, which does not qualify for VA service dog veterinary benefits or ADA public access rights.
Which of the following expenses is covered by the VA Service Dog Veterinary Health Insurance benefit? The correct answer is B, prescribed medications, veterinary office visits, and one sedated dental procedure per year.
Bella here. The piece I want to leave you with is that this benefit exists because service dogs genuinely transform lives. If you qualify, do not let the process intimidate you. Your VA clinical team is the starting point, and the organizations that train these dogs are there specifically to help veterans.
Michael jumping in. The analogy that stays with me is the prosthetic comparison. A service dog is not a pet with a vest. It is a prescribed medical device that happens to have 4 legs and a tail. Treat the process that way and the system makes sense.
Fenrir here. The gap that needs closing is the psychiatric service dog benefit. The PETUS Act pilot is a start, but until it becomes permanent and nationwide, veterans with PTSD are stuck in a gray zone. That needs to change.
And remember the distinction that matters most. Trained tasks equals service dog. Comfort alone equals emotional support animal. 2 very different legal categories with very different rights. Next video, we cover hearing care, free hearing aids through the VA, and how to file your tinnitus claim. Tinnitus is the most claimed VA disability, and most veterans are leaving benefits on the table. That is VA Benefits 1.42. If this series is helping you understand benefits you have earned, subscribe. We are covering every major VA program so nothing gets left on the table. Professor Erica signing off.